now move on to the fourth speaker for today. And the fourth speaker will be talking about the context of wind energy for the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, next we have from SMK Batu Lapan, Puchong, Ms. Lim Wei San. Over to you.
Okay, hi, my name is Lim Wei San, and I'm from SMK Batu Lapan. And today I'm going to talk about wind energy. So in Malaysia, wind energy and also solar energy are considered as a clean energy source because it does not involve the combustion of any fossil fuels or any coal, which will result in carbon footprints. Okay, so what is wind energy? Wind energy is the generation of energy using wind or air flows occurring on the Earth's atmosphere. Due to unequal heat distribution, there is a system exists where we call as convection, where warm air will undergo expansion, and then it becomes less dense than cool air. This causes the pressure of the warm air to decrease inversely with the expansion of warm air. In the convection system, air flows from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure, and this causes a circulation of air, which will result in wind. Okay. In my opinion, wind is a decent alternative for the Malaysia's power generation, as our nation largely relies on the combustion of fossil fuels, coals, and also natural gas. And as we all know, the combustion or incomplete combustion of fossil fuels will result in carbon dioxide production, and also maybe in incomplete combustion, carbon monoxide. And as we all know, carbon monoxide is a detrimental gas that will affect our health, and it may lead to death. Okay, and carbon dioxide will carbon monoxide is a greenhouse gas, yes, and it will result in climate change. So wind energy as a clean energy, it will not have any side effects. And this is vital to combat the climate change, as wind energy can be converted into electrical energy and also mechanical energy based on the first law of thermodynamics. Next, we have wind energy is an inexhaustible source compared to conventional energy such as coal and fossil fuels. This creates a sustainable system without risking the future of Malaysia. And as we all know that Malaysia is considered as the largest net oil importer among Asian countries. However, due to the large reliance on oil in our transportation and industrial sector, Malaysia will soon become an oil-dependent country where we have to rely on other countries for oil. And based on my research, Malaysia is now ranking the 30th country that relies on oil import. So if we can replace fossil fuels and also oil import by renewable energies, then our economy will increase because we do not need to rely on the import of oils and fossil fuels. This is what the US government is doing. They are trying to achieve energy independence, where we do not need to rely on fossil fuels anymore. In addition,
1 minute remaining.
Malaysia has an average wind velocity about 2 meters per second. During the monsoon season, it can reach up to 15 meters per second. Regions such as Pulau Terumbu Layang-Layang in Sabah, Langkawi and Mersing, they have wind. We can use this wind velocity to generate our wind turbines, and also to generate wind turbines and establish more wind farms in the eastern coast of Malaysia. And here are the ways to improve the wind energy sector in Malaysia. First is to improve to modify wind turbine to make it more efficient in power input, which is less requirement of wind energy to generate energy. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Liu Wei-Shang. So now let me pose a question to you. Let's imagine something. Wind energy. So what that means is that we have to turn something that we can't really see, yes, into something that we can use. Right? Something that adds value to us. And then you were mentioning about how Malaysia being one of the largest net importer of oil. So we burn a lot of this on our roads, especially highway. If you stand by the side of RNR or Sungai Buloh, you can feel the wind even at midnight, right? At midnight. So what's stopping us from extracting wind energy from these artificial energy sources? What's stopping us? Because it's, we've burned the energy already. Why don't we extract some? Yeah, we don't need complicated setups to extract the power. Yeah. So what's stopping us?
Stopping us
from extracting wind energy from artificial wind energy sources, like by the side of the highway, where the wind is very strong.
I think this is because if you're talking about artificial wind, the minimum energy required to generate a wind turbine is actually a lot. But I'm sorry because I didn't went into what are the minimum energy needed. But even talking from the aspect from Malaysians, wind velocity is considered small already, because the Malaysian wind velocity is only about 2 meters per second.
What I mean is by the roadside.
By the roadside.
By the roadside, yes, by the roadside, where the wind is very strong because so many cars and lorries and whatever passes by. So that's why I said, let's imagine. So why don't we take the opportunity here? Because those places need a lot of power, like RNRs, lighting, blah, 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 blah. So why don't we take the opportunity? What do you think is stopping us from doing that? This crazy idea.
I think it's because there's no place for the wind turbine to fit, because it requires a certain surface area. So I think the surface area, or maybe if we put wind turbines near roads, maybe it will disrupt the
Okay, this is something that perhaps we can explore further, right? Because if you're not sure about it, that means there's something to look at.
Maybe we can design like Singapore's toll, where they don't have tolls like sitting on the ground. Their toll is like the car pass through and then tick.
This is like the flying car gantry where people can pay through. I don't know. I'm trying to.
The toll in Singapore, it's like
above, above, yes.
So if we design the wind turbines above,
then it might be feasible. We don't know. We have so many universities.
Just waiting for one university.
Yes, right, Lisa. Thank you for that. So that's the first question. Shall we have the second question from the audience, from an audience member, please? Talking about wind energy. Yes, the wind person, because you need the wind to fly your roads. Yes, please join us. Introduce yourself.
I am William from Stanford. I'll just ask you an unqualified question. Basically, we live in very close to the equator. So that means our wind is very unreliable because we have a lot of localized weather here. So how do we harness the wind in these areas? When you go up north or you go down south, you can depend on strong winds. But in our climate, in this area here, how do we harness the winds?
You mean in Selangor area? Or
No, I mean in our region, in Malaysia. How do we catch the winds? Because of the idea that we live in the so near the equator, that we get so much of uneven weather patterns, I would say.
Nanti the wind goes this way, then
Yeah,
goes this way, then goes this way.
if I put the wind vane, which way am I looking at? Or sometimes, sometimes there's no wind at all, and it's so hot and humid.
But first, we need to identify which region has the greatest wind potential. Like maybe in the east coast, like
good point.
Pulau Terengganu, Sabah, and we also need to look into the aspects of the surroundings. Make sure that there's no distractions, to ensure that the surface is smooth, and there are no buildings, there are skyscrapers to block the air wind. And maybe the best region to establish the wind turbines or wind farms is maybe on offshore, on the sea, because Malaysia is surrounded by South China Sea, right?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, and thank you, Wei San. As we allow the judges to finalize the scores.